Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. Welcome again to another session of the WMC Book Club. And today we are going to talk about The Little Prince.
Yes.
It's a very old book, and TJ is going to tell us more about it. TJ?
Thank you, Achi. Hello, everybody. Hello to all of you guys that are tuned in or listening to us. True to what we have started this quarter, we're back to the basics, and I think us bookworms, we really love that. This is an old classic, The Little Prince. I'm given the most difficult task, magpa-French tayo ng konti, na written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry.
Very good.
The Little Prince in English. This was published in 1943. Yung writer natin is apparently an aristocrat, a writer himself, and is actually a military aviator. That's where the influence came from. And it was written in 1943, around about World War broke out. He wrote it at a time that, he's very confused with what's going on with this country and in the world. He wanted to put things back in perspective and understand everything that's going on around him, starting from himself. And then that really gave him a different perspective. When it was first introduced, the Little Prince wasn't really as popular. Because the readers really could not understand who it's for, who's the targeted audience. Is it for adults? Is it for grown-ups? And then eventually, it resonated to all readers across the world, for all ages. It's published 140 million copies and translated in 505 different languages and dialects, you guys. It's the most translated book next to the Bible. Di ba ang galing? So ang nice lang that we're back to the basic.
To be honest, TJ, this dito sa ating book assignment is the very first time that I read the book. I bought my copy for my kids, and they read it because it was part of school assignment. So I think all my 4 kids read through this book. It was my very first time. Hiningi ko pa to sa sister ko kasi I already, my nephew, who's now 6 years old, already inherited a lot of my kids' books. And this was one of it. So hiniram ko pa ulit. Ayan.
Oh my gosh. Sige, mag-share muna tayo ng background. Mine, this is a copy of from my younger brother, which actually isn't his also. So meron pang ang dedication dito. Apparently from his friend. And reading the dedication, parang before ko siya nabasa, parang I kind of know na parang anong magiging content niya. Nakalagay dito, to remind you of your friend who sometimes lives in his own world.
Oh, wow.
So sobrang adept niya. So the other two, Amy and Arlene, share us, no, paano nyo nakuha yung book? Is there like a story like actually in mine?
Me first, no. So I first read the book when I was in college, no. My dorm mates, they're asking me to I was being asked to write a book report, like a reaction to the book. So I kind of helped them kasi I really love to read. So this is one of the books that I read when I was in college. So yun nga when at a different time of your life, syempre iba yung interpretation mo in the book. So, and then, I'm so glad that this one is our book for this month. So, nakita din ni Lucas and na-amaze siya, ganagandahan siya sa drawing. So, sabi ko, I will buy na nga my books from now on. Kasi he's the one who loves to read. So, sabi ko sa kanya, Lucas, you will read this after mom read the book. So, yes daw.
Cute.
How about
Arlene? How did you come across the book?
Ay, pinakamadilaw. Pinakamadilaw sa ating apat.
I thought this was my book. But when I tried to find it from our stocks in one of our rooms, I learned that it is the book of my sister-in-law who lived with us when she was still what they call it, she's still a student in UPLB. So this book is way back 1994.
Wow.
And it still has her student number here.
Oh.
It's at the back of the book. Anyway, It was also read by my daughter when she was in high school. I read this also in one of my communications subject in college. And I agree with Amy. I have a different perspective then. And I thought I knew the book by heart.
Yes, me too. I
When
thought
I
then.
was reading it again, it was an easy read. I was able to finish it in less than an hour.
Mm.
But when I was reading it, I thought, it was said here. I don't know. I cannot remember the people in this book, the characters in this book. But what I can always think of is the lesson that I got from it. But when I was reading it, I was wondering what cannot remember anymore the ending of the book.
Yes.
So I really hurried up. What was the ending? Because I really cannot remember. I think I've read this is the third time I read it. The first one was in college. The second one, I think it was somewhere I saw this in a coffee shop or what, and then I just read it to pass time, just waiting for someone, and this was the third time. And it has different meanings to me in each time I read it.
And a few more years down the road, when we revisit the book again, iba na naman yung magiging ibig sabihin niya.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But nice lang, no? That the book talaga, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Galing sa iba, pumunta sa atin, ngayon pupunta ulit. And somehow, it found its way back to us. Kaya
Yes.
nakakatuwa lang.
And
Yan na,
there's
Bina.
a price here. There's a price here. It's 23.
May price tag pa. Wow,
May
grabe.
price tag
Ganun
ba?
kamura yung mga
23
libro
pesos.
dati.
Wow,
Way back
inflation is real.
1994.
Uy, mag-comparean tayo para makita natin totoo ba ang inflation. Kasi yung sa akin may price tag pa
Yes.
din.
Oh, sa akin 225 National Bookstore.
Oh, it's 100
Oo.
times, 100.
Oo.
Can you
But-
see it?
Yeah,
Yes,
23.
yes.
23.
Oh my God, right,
Oh my,
diba?
it's
About
23.50.
1994.
Gosh.
Inflation.
Yes.
It's real.
Ayan. Ayan ang ibig sabihin ng inflation,
That's
everybody.
true. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Ayan. So
But anyway,
let's get
oh,
the ball
yeah.
rolling.
Yes, ito na
Yes.
because feeling ko one out because this book is really rich in a lot of things. Let's get started. Baka kulang na naman yung isang oras. So ito nga, I think it's a how would I say that? It's bringing adults back to basics. So tayong mga adults na nandito, it's an all-girls squad pala today, you know?
Yes.
Hello, Chloe.
Hi, Kaloy. We miss you here.
Tayong mga
Yes.
adults. So tatanungin ko kayo, ready na ba tayong mga adults? Because apparently it's about us. So yung first question ko sa inyo, here from this book, it really is, it gave us a different perspective of what being a grown-up is and how we change growing up. Which part of this book, yung mga learnings about yung being an adult that really struck you the most? Ayan na. So, sinong umpisang, medyo mabigat na naman itong discussion natin. Sino mag-start? Si Chairman na lang. Chairman, actually, I'll give it back.
Chairman, no?
Yes, Chairman of a book club. Oh.
Actually, each individual that the Little Prince met struck a nerve. Yung encounter niya with each individual, yung kanyang conversation kind of struck a nerve every time, no? Na sometimes it brings me back to the past. Sometimes naman it reminds me of what is in the present, no? Like for example, for all those who see my post on Facebook and on IG, makikita nyo na madalas on Sundays or during holidays, pinapasyal ko ang parents ko, no? And this started, I think, this started over a year ago, or maybe around this time last year, no? And it was at that time na tinanggal na yung face shield, no? Nilift na yung paggamit ng face shield. Kaya sabi ko, oh, pwede ko na kayong ipasyal, no? And they enjoyed it a lot, no? However, nung nakita ko na pareho pa rin yung ang aming differences, no? How we see life, how we our perspective on different situations, ano yung gusto namin sa buhay namin, pareho pa rin. So kung ano yung tatalunan namin before, it's the same differences that we have today. However, it's how I deal with those conversations that is very different now. So it brings me back to, for example, yung when the author and the Little Prince were discussing about, di ba, he was having trouble fixing his plane eh, di ba, the engine, tapos nauubusan na sila ng tubig. So he was worried, no? And then, but the Little Prince was kind of in his cocky way, no? Very insistent in the way he, parang the way he views what is important and what is not, no? Siyempre sa mata niya iba, sa mata ng author iba rin, no? Pero yun eh. Umabot din sila sa point na ang author, naintindihan din niya kung saan nanggagaling si Little Prince, no? At na-appreciate niya. So in my situation today, although nandun pa rin yun pag naupo kami ng daddy ko, the girls would go out shopping. My mom would be with the granddaughters, no? They would go shopping. Since my dad he doesn't really like to walk around, I'd ask him to sit for a bit and enjoy some coffee with me. So sinasamahan ko siya. So ayun na, manguungkat na yan ng history ng kabataan namin. Alam mo, yung ilang taon ko nang naririnig yun, halos memorize ko na, ganon. And then, okay lang yung history eh. It's the point of views. For example, sasabihin niya na, dapat ikaw, yung decision mo ganito. Or dapat nung time na nangyayari sa iyo to, dapat ganito ang ginawa mo. So, nandun ako sa point ngayon na, okay. You know, at the end of the day, this is just another conversation that we're having. And as long as I don't light any fire, I mean, he might be trying to spark any flame, spark a fire, but if I don't fan the flame, it's just a conversation, di ba? Kung doon naman siya natutuwa na nailalabas niya lahat, maybe because he didn't get his way, alam niya na yung dati niyang sinasabi sa akin na hindi ko sinunod, no? But then again, everything turned out okay pa rin naman, no? Yun yung parang kaya paulit-ulit niyang sinasabi, di ba? But sabi ko, okay, as long as I don't fan the flame, okay lang. And then, you know, next Sunday, paglabas namin, ito pa rin naman yung pag-uusapan namin eh. Bakit ko pa siya sasagutin? Hayaan ko na lang siya magkwento. And then sometimes, I would repeat the same question. I would repeat the same expression na, talaga, nangyari yun? Or, so anong sinabi mo? You know, it's the same thing. Just to encourage him to share the stories because that's what he enjoys doing eh. Bakit ko nga ba sila linalabas pag Sunday? I mean, on Sundays, I can just, what I enjoy the most is just to stay home and bum around the house, di ba? Bakit ko pa sila ilalabas? Because they enjoy it. They enjoy going out. They enjoy spending time with the grandkids. They enjoy, my mom enjoys shopping with the girls, you know? So, kung yun ang purpose ko, edi hayaan ko nang i-enjoy niya yung buong Sunday na yun. So that was kind of, you know, what connected me to the story and to the individuals or the characters in the story. Ayan.
Pero ang ganda din na Achi, with your story, tayo naman talaga, you know, growing up, nagkakaroon nga tayo ng iba't ibang perspective. There's a lot of things that are taught at home that of course our parents want to preserve, nadala pa din natin siya. But then because of the external experiences, so to speak, nagbabago din, no, yung perspective natin, which may not be the same as, you know, our parents now. Nakakatuwa lang na dadating din, parang ikot siya. Yeah. Nababalik din ulit to a point na yung perspective ng parents natin at a certain age in our lives, magmamatch pa din.
Yes,
And I think
that
that's
is
what the
right.
book did to us, no, na ang daming tao na nakausap, no, different, iba-iba din yung naging lessons and experiences, but then all of them really bring us back again to our core, to our center. Ang saya lang. O, sige, papasa na natin. All right, so let's hear naman from Arlene, no? What part of the book while being an adult resonated to you the most?
I think there was 3 points. The first one is where I am right now. I could say that the part where it says that they have to do, he has to do tedious things every day. That was, I think, I'm looking for the bookmark that I made. It says here, it is a question of discipline. When you finish your own toilet in the morning, and it is time to attend to the toilet of your planet, just so with the greatest care. You must see to it that you put up regularly all the baobabs at the very first moment when they can be distinguished from the rose bushes, which they resemble so closely in their earliest food. It is very tedious work, the little prince added, but very easy. I can connect this because my daughter just sent me a Twitter. I think that was last month, and she told me, "Can you relate on this?" How's that? It is about what is your cough drop sign? It is
Your
common to cough drop
Cough
sign.
Cough
drop
drop
sign.
sign. Okay.
It's common to people with ADHD. My daughter has ADHD, and I was discovered when she was discovered. I also have ADHD. So there are things that we know that are easy to do, but we don't know why we do not do it. For example, the example of the cough drop sign is the person left a cough drop in her car, and then she always tell herself, "I should bring it out and then keep it in her home." But every time she goes home, she forgets the cough drop. She leaves it in the car. It was so easy to do, just grab it and bring it inside the house. And I am like that for the past, that was what happened to me because of the pandemic. I need to call. It's easy to call, but I do not call for some time. It is easy to sit down and do my admin work. But after I did that, dali lang pala. It took even an hour. Why did I agonize on this day by day? Upo din naman ako sa computer. I don't want to sit down. Tatawag na naman ako. I don't want to call. Parang ganyan. Pero when you are there, dali lang pala. So this one resonated with me. Parang, my God, sabi ko, 1944, and then to another book, wala pala dito yung binabasa ko. Because of that Twitter, nasabi ko nga, I was able to buy this book, Delivered from Distraction. Tapos yung isa naman, it's in my bag downstairs because I bring it. Yung part 1 ito, yun yung may sabi yung cough drop sign. So, it's all about ADHD, how you handle it, and everything. And sabi, that was my challenge since then. That anything that is easy to do, I should do it now. I count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it morning. So, when I was in this, oh my God, it is here again. But someone in the universe is telling me, Eileen, do what you have to do.
Arlene, parang nawala ang audio mo.
Nawala? Wait.
Ayan, you're back. You're back.
Yeah. Sabi ko, parang, ito na naman ako. Parang I realized, God, you're so kulit. You told me already last month na the cough drops again, then it's now again in the little things. So that's one take. And the other one is, when I read about the other people na parang he has met throughout the book, throughout his journey, I realized that all of us has our own role in this earth. Diba yung natawa ako dun sa matchmate, yung nagla-light ng lamppost, he wants to sleep, but it was his choice to be a it was his role to be a lamppost. So wala siyang magawa, he wants to sleep, but he needs to be there to keep on lighting the post. Ano parang sabi niya, I have to So I have to put out the light and then put a match again, several minutes. Parang that is his role in life. But the ano naman businessman was his role is life to just count the stars and say these are all mine. So why I agree with this Janet. Parang why nitpick on everything around you? We all have our roles in life. Just get better on that role. Diba? Just get better on that role. Kasi, it means that is your talent. So, parang it's the talent that was given to you by God. So, better yet, instead of nitpicking with everybody, parang it is my business, it is none of your business. So, this is my role, I will do it. And the third one I really like is, asan na ba yun? I have a book, pero I use my tab because the writings are quite blurred on it. So, and it's easy to do a bookmark here. Anyway, ayan. It is the time you have wasted for your roles that makes your role so important. So if there is a role, you have a role in your life, and if you nurture it, if you improve, make an improvement, or make yourself a better person than that. And those people that comes into your life, they are unique to you. So the time you have wasted for them is what makes them important. So yun na ang aking takeaways.
That's beautiful.
Oh my God.
That's beautiful.
I know. But then
Yeah.
look at that, everybody, a book can really draw that, deep of emotions from all of us. So
Yeah,
encourage you to get into reading. Ang hirap maging adult, no?
Ay,
Yes,
sinabi
yes.
mo.
Ang hirap maging adult, no?
I
Ang hirap
forgot pala,
maging-
TJ, that people that comes into your life, parang God is giving it to you. So those people are always unique to you, and it helps you to make your role more unique, your role be more important to people around you. Yun, yung pala yung sabihin. Yeah.
That's
Nice.
true. No? Sometimes it happens to all of us. As we become adults, mas marami nga tayong nakaka-interact, nakakasalamuha. Some may be good interactions, some may be bad interactions. It sometimes nga, most of the time lang, because bad interactions, they're very potent, yun yung mas naaalala natin. And then
Yes.
over time, yun yung gusto nating kalimutan. Kasi nga bad siya. But the book really tells us that, just like what Arlene has said, that everyone we meet in this life has a role that they play in our lives and in their lives. So kung ano man yung naging interaction natin with them, we take it na how it can help us become better adults. Yan, virtual hug sa'yo, Arlene. I'm trying my best to help you process in the absence of Kaloy.
Kaloy.
Ano?
Actually, na-miss ko si Kaloy.
Ito na. Okay, ikaw na.
Siya yung fun
Yeah.
joker. Sorry, Kaloy.
So for me, no, syempre, 'di ba, parang dito sa book, dahil nga sobrang busy ng adults, so we busy ourselves too much. So, and syempre, 'di ba, dahil nga nabasa ko to nung college ako, hindi ganun yung interpretation ko. And then I have kids. And siguro yung mga kids ko, they are telling me, 'di ba, adults are really drawn to matters of consequence. And that resonates so much with me. Na parang na-miss ko na din na dati, yung parang so fun, na parang getting, especially when us moms na may ginagawa tayo right now, tapos nakalagay na tayo sa next natin gagawin, sa gagawin pa natin later on, 'di ba? Parang like the businessman, he counts. So parang tayo, we number. To be honest, because I'm so makakalimutan na kasi ako these days, I have this note in my phone. So I check it. So may mga writings ako on my notepads, but syempre mas lagi kong carry yung phone ko. I check ano na ba yung nagawa ko, ano ba yung hindi ko pa nagagawa, ano pa yung gagawin kong susunod. So I'm so busy in
Check my PDF.
'Di ba? I'm so busy in a matter of consequence because 'di ba that's how we are as an adult, no? So nakalagay dito, no, sabi dito ni Little Prince, men are set out on their way in express trains, but they do not know what are they looking for.
Mm.
They rush around about, get excited, turn around and around. So parang sabi ko, oh wait, parang 'di ba? Parang this book is telling me, slow down.
Mm.
'Di ba? You have to slow down. And yun nga 'di ba? Tapos sabi din niya, um parang sabi din dito, um it is only with the heart that one can see rightly what essential is invisible to the eye. So what are we
Mm.
aiming? Yung minsan, di ba? What are we aiming? Yeah, aiming. What are we aiming for every day? Ano ba yung mga accomplishments na gusto natin every day? Parang, di
Mm.
ba? We busy ourselves and we forget how it is to be child again. So minsan 'di ba, ako I'm so drawn to sunsets, moon, stars. Alam mo 'yun, I parang feeling ko when yun 'di ba sabi niya 'di ba, you give meaning to those things kasi parang they are important to you. They
Mm.
make 'di ba, you give meaning to them because they somehow like you. Kasi si Arlene kasi tuloy na ano na 'di ba parang gano'n? So, minsan naisip ko, kaya I want my kids to read. So, I will ask their perspective on things kasi 'di ba, they see the world in a different light
Mm.
as us, 'di ba? Different na din yung perspective natin in life. So, akala we miss you here. So, yun. And also, in terms of our business, no, sabi dito, if we establish ties, then we shall need each other.
Mm.
So that is in our business naman, in how I deal with my clients. So the time that I don't see that I waste with them. So the time that I invest in them, na doon nabibuild yung relationship. And also the time that I also spend with my family. So yun, 'di ba? Oh my God, this book. My God, this book, what can do, 'di ba? Parang, and yes, yun nga, perspective in every moment of our life, iba-iba yung interpretation. So
Mm.
yes, talagang, 'di ba, sometimes I wish to be young again. Parang naisip ko, di habang 'di ba kasi this book is June, no? Tapos parang naisip ko, parang when I was young, I was so busy thinking and wishing to grow up. And then when I'm grown up, parang I
You
wish
wish to
I could,
go back to be younger.
yes, kasi parang I
Lesser
feel that,
responsibilities pa.
yes, I feel that when we are young, parang sobrang ang dali lang ng buhay because everything is provided for us. And then now
Mm.
we are trying to provide everything for our children. So it's a very different world. So yeah, and oh my God, this book talaga.
Alam mo, TJ, isingit ko lang, no? Kasi ako yung pinaka-senior dito eh, no?
Oy,
So,
grabe.
ay, oo naman. Inaamin ko naman yun. Ina-embrace ko na yun. I mean, sino ba sa inyo ang nasa 50s na? Wala pa, di ba? So, ang, yung, when you become an adult, no? And this is how I see it now, where I am today. It's a choice, no? How complicated or how simple you want it to be. Kasi katulad ko ngayon, nandun ako kasi initially, so I'm moving out of this house, moving into a condo, we're downsizing because 3 of my 4 kids are already abroad. Malabo nang umuwi yon pag nasa abroad. And then yung naiwan dito sa akin na panganay ko mukhang magmo-move out din, no? So downsize ng downsize. Now, when I was thinking of leasing out this property na lang, para may passive income, I always talk to my children about these things. Nagfa-family meeting ako. So sabi ng mga anak ko, Mami, di ba na-experience mo yung sakit ng ulo dealing with tenants? Naririnig mo kaila ama tsaka kaila angkong. Gusto mo ba yun? Total, marunong ka naman humawak ng pera. Benta mo na lang yung bahay. Enjoy the money. They didn't even say, leave the money with us. Ikaw na mag-enjoy ng pera, di ba? I-enjoy mo na while you can. And then if you want to invest it, bahala ka na. Pero it relieves you with, having certain complications in life, like dealing with troublesome tenants, no? And that made me think about the different aspects of my life also. Na, you know what, at the end of the day, it's a choice that I have to make for myself because my kids are all on their own na. Diba? Eventually, they will have their own family, they will live their own life. And I will have to take care of my life, myself. So, do I really want to make it that complicated? Do I want to bring in more people to deal with na hindi ko naman sila how much value do they bring in my life? Parang ganon. So, yeah, in connection with what you just shared, Amy, no? It is a choice, no? So, darating ka, syempre, ngayon, babata pa ng mga anak nyo, especially ikaw, dahil dalawang maliit pa, di ba? So, aabot ka rin dun sa point na makakapag-relax ka kasi when you're a parent of kids who are just, who are in their elementary years, adolescent, no, young adults, you still tend to worry for them. But know that if you built a very strong foundation in terms of values sa kanilang character, na kapag you release them, and this is me speaking through experience, once you release them to the world, of course, you cannot trust the world. Diba? The external factors will always be there, but you trust their ability, you trust their capability of picking themselves up if they fall flat on their face and dusting off the sand and just to keep moving forward. And that will create for you a life that is comfortable na for you and your husband na, ay, pwede na ako mag-relax. Pwede na mag-downsize, pwede ko nang isimplify buhay ko, less worry na. So I mean, it's a different kind of less worry kasi sa pag-child ka, wala kang iniisip na ibang obligasyon di ba? Syempre pag matanda ka, may ibang obligasyon pa rin, but the choice to make it simple is really yours. So yun, ayan. So
Thank you, Ashley.
ikaw, of course, ikaw naman TJ.
Wait muna,
Kamusta
magko-comment
naman?
muna. Magko-comment
Sige.
muna ako doon sa inyo. Actually, so our kids are close in age, no? Mukhang si Miguel din, gusto din niya to live abroad. So pag nag-leave the nest na siya, magiging roomies na talaga tayo. Ako na yung angkunin mo.
Yes.
Yan, para magkasama tayo. To you,
Yes.
Amy, alam mo, i-enjoy mo yan. It's hard really pag masyado pa silang maliliit because they're so dependent on you. And then the pressure falls on us that we give them the life that they deserve. No, by our definition. Kaya mabigat. I-enjoy mo yan kasi pagdating na ng mga adults, kakain namin ni Achi, hindi na kami yung gusto nilang kasama.
Yes. May mga sariling
mag-explore and
circle of
whatnot.
friends na. Oo.
Yan. And then,
Malapit
tsaka
na
tayo
rin ako
maging...
dyan.
Ay,
Oh yeah, di ba?
ayan
Tsaka
na.
tayo maging magkaka-roomies and whatnot. And to Amy's point kanina, I think yun yung sinabi sa book tayo daw mga adults, we're really all about a matter of consequences. The reason because our life, how we operate our day, it doesn't just affect us. It affects like our kids, your parents, our advisors, our clients. So lahat na yun. So parang we've become very calculated in the sense na, alam mo yung parang gusto ba natin na alam natin kung ano yung mangyari kasi nga hindi lang isa yung effect nun Parang it creates like a ripple effect, so to speak. Pero ang nangyayari nga lang, sabi dito sa books, tayo daw maging grown-ups, we love figures na. Which, true to form, yan na yung nangyayari, no? And one, yung isang description niya, kapag daw our kids, when they introduce a new friend to us, di naman natin tinatanong, no? Kung kamusta yung interaction nila. Ang talagang unang itinatanong natin, how old is he? Ilan silang magkakapatid? Diba?
Yeah.
Anong
Sila
trabaho ng mga magulang niya? No? And that really, oo nga, no? Oo nga, no? Parang pag tumatanda talaga tayo, our perspective really changes. And dahil nga ang bilis ng buhay natin, plus it affects other people, also, nane-neglect na ba natin yung mga maliliit na bagay that brings us joy? Yun yung nakakamiss. Kaya nga ang ganda ng book kasi it brought us back to our childlike perspective. Yung sa akin, ang pinaka-favorite ko dito was his interaction with the fox.
Yeah.
Hindi niya maintindihan yun na yung fox is asking him to tame him. Hindi niya magets yun. Para saan? No, but apparently, that was the fox's way of trying to build a connection, an authentic connection, a relationship. No, ang dami nating nakikita and a lot of this, ang dami nating nakikilala, but then a lot of these interactions really, ganun lang siya. We want it to be a connection, but then these people are actually trying to make an authentic real relationship with us. So sana yun yung ma-miss natin. And sabi din nga nung fox, no, it's the secret of the book. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. A lot of the times tayo, no, as we grow up, we look at things at its face value. No, gusto natin black and white, that's it. Kasi ang dami nga natin ginagawa eh. No, parang ayaw na natin ng complicated. And by us really just looking at it at its face value, we miss a lot. Na somebody pala is trying to make a relationship with us. Somebody pala is trying to teach us a lesson. Our kids pala needs, something different from us. Our parents pala at this age, at this age, iba na yung gusto nila. Kasi nga parang lagi tayong nagmamadali.
Yeah.
So, ang nice lang nun. And yung sa akin, from this book, it's a good learning na yung, of course, we know that we're grown-ups, we're adults based on our biological age, but then really, yung pagiging grown-up, it's a state of mind.
Yeah, the
It's
maturity.
not a fact of life.
Yes.
Yes,
The
no, parang,
maturity.
yes, di ba yun siya. And kaya din nagbabago yung perspective natin. So, kaya pa ba natin? No, lahat ng books natin, oh my gosh, our audience, read a book.
Yes.
Only a book can do this to you.
Yeah.
Pwede ko bang itanong sa inyo, since yung book natin has illustration, ano yung pinaka tumatak sa inyo na illustration dito sa book na to? I think since last year and this year, ito lang yata yung book na nabasa natin na merong illustration. No? So if you guys are gonna go through the pages of the book, alin dyan sa mga illustration ng pinaka nagustuhan ninyo. And habang pumipili kayo, this book also tells us that art is very different from the one who created it and the perspective of somebody who's seeing it.
Yeah.
So yan na.
Ako yung gusto ko yung last part, yung the little prince is saying goodbye. Yung yellow na parang looking up.
At the star.
At the star.
Yeah.
Yan. Ewan ko, but that one, when I saw that, yes. When I saw that, hindi kasi yung black and white yung note yung aking when I saw that here sa top, I don't know why I felt so, parang it's very hopeful. Because she looking at the star, and hindi makita. Anyway, yeah. Parang he's being lifted up and going back to his home. Parang, yun. Because siguro dahil magki-Christmas na din. Feel ko na. Anyway, yan yung nagustuhan kong illustration.
You, Amy?
Ikaw, Amy.
Ako yung flower.
Aww.
You know why?
Parang, why am I not surprised, Amy?
Actually, parang feeling ko, parang ako yun. I'm so vain, and the little prince is my husband who's always taking care of me. Parang,
Sana all.
oh my God, talaga. Alam mo yun, binabasa ko siya, pati yung mga sinasabi niya. Parang nakikita ko yung sarili ko na, siya mo-demand, I need this, I need that. You take care of me. Parang, tapos yung husband ko, yes, I think.
Yes, honey.
Yeah, oh my God. Yun talaga. Talagang naisip ko. Sabi ko, parang, oh my God, parang gano'n ako mag-demand. I'm so sorry and thank you.
I'm so
Pero
sorry
baka
and thank you.
Okay, pero baka in that sense, no, dun niya na-feel na love mo siya kasi there's a need for him, there's a demand for him. So ituloy mo
Yes.
lang yan.
Yan
Tapos
yung
pag
role niya sa
nagdademand ka,
buhay mo.
idamay mo na kami.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you, Achi?
Ako, like what I said, this is the first time I read the book. So when I was flipping through the pages, syempre, ang una kong tinignan, yung una, di ba? So I also saw this as a hat. Without reading the first 2 pages, akala ko hat din siya. And I was trying to connect this with this without reading through the first few paragraphs. And so I was so surprised na the grown-ups in the book also saw it as a hat. So says a lot about me and where I am in life. Pero yon, ikaw TJ.
So kung si Achi, nakakatawa, kung si Achi, pag nagbabasa siya ng book, yung first few pages mo na yung binabasa niya. Ako naman baliktad. Laging yung dulo, yung binabasa ko. That's how I am with the book. Parang binabasa ko muna yung ending. Kung okay sa akin yung
I-spoiler
ending,
mo
it's
muna.
interesting. Oo. Parang tsaka ako siya babasahin. To me, the last illustration on the book, yung black and white na open space and there's a star. Parang this one really hit me very hard. Kasi nga parang, nawawala na nga yung imagination natin as adults, no? Black and white na lang lahat, figures na lang lahat. Pero this one, parang the author left it na it's like it still is an open world. Open your mind, believe in, yung mag-imagine ka ba? Na don't just limit yourself na ito lang siya. But marami pa, no? Mas malaki pa yung pwede mong galawan ng mundo. Mas marami pang pwedeng mangyari. Marami ka pang makikilala.
At pwede mo pang kulayan.
Exactly. Tapos di ba sabi niya, parang dito yung call to action niya is if alam natin kung ano yung nangyari sa Prince, contact him. No, parang he left that to our imagination that, you can create that diba, can create that story also for us. So, yun lang, ang saya-saya. Nakakatawa na may illustration tayo ngayon, ano?
Yeah.
Kung kayo, ayan na, for our final question before we close the session, the book really gave us very rich learning when it comes to adulting and relationships and how we deal with our day-to-day. If merong isang tao sa buhay ninyo, ngayon, no, na ipapasa nyo to, read this book, sino yan and bakit?
Let's start
Ako
with
na,
Arlene
nauna na.
muna. Wait
Arlene,
muna.
okay.
Kasi Arlene might need to leave soon.
Oo nga pala,
She has
oo nga pala.
another meeting to attend to. Unahin natin si Arlene.
I think my husband.
Ay!
What? Consequence. Parang, right now kasi, his state of mind, he is doing his PhD. He's a sandwich program between here in the Philippines and Germany. Then he has also his work. And us as family. Parang, I told him, you have to slow down. Kasi ang dami niya iniisip. You have to slow down. So, sabi ko, basahin mo kayo ulit ito. Parang gusto ko sabihin sa kanya, basahin kayo ulit ito.
Yeah. 1 hour lang.
1 hour lang. Less pa nga eh. It was less than hour. Yan lang.
Thank you, Arlene. Amy?
I have to say goodbye as well. Kasi it's already
53 na. Yes. We
I
will
set a
see you
pattern.
again soon, Arlene. Thank you
Yes,
for
and let me
joining
know
us.
when.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
your week.
Arlene.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ayan, si
All
Amy
right,
naman.
Amy?
So of course, I already said, ipasa ko kay Lucas. You know, the kids, they have different wisdom. Si Lance din, if Lance wants to read, of course, but Lucas kasi he's roaming around. Magkatabi lang kasi kami ng table. So I want him to read and I want to discuss this book with him and to see how he interprets. Kasi I think he will understand I think he can read this by himself, but I want to see his perspective of this book. So yun. Kay Lucas. Si Lucas ang next.
Si Lucas pala. Achi?
Ako, gusto kong ibalik ito sa pamangkin ko. Pero gusto ko ako magbabasa para sa kanya. I will read to him. You know, when my kids were still little, actually, kahit nung nasa sinapupunan ko pa sila, no, isa-isa, I would read to them. Pero mga storybooks, I have so many. Alam no, when we were packing stuff in boxes because we're getting ready to move out na ang dami pala naming libro from when they were little, and wala pa yung collection ko, yung sarili ko, no? So and my kids enjoy how I read to them, that to the point now when my panganay was already old enough to read on her own, she would still sit with me and her younger sister when I read to her bedtime stories. Kasi ano namin talaga yan, ritual namin yan. Bedtime stories talaga. And when both girls were older, they would still sit with me and their younger brother when I would read to him, no? So all four kids love to read books, no? So now ang gusto kong ma-experience ng pamangkin ko yung animation. Kasi that's how I read to my kids. Sometimes I would even jump on the bed just to, emphasize one part of the story. Tapos yung boses ko, lumalakas, lumiliit, nag-iiba, base sa character, ganon. And because there are a lot of characters here, I also listen to the audiobook eh. So nakakatuwa kasi the when you read between the lines, it is so deep, no? But then again, it is so light to read because yung setting niya, yung characters niya, pambata talaga. So gusto kong ibasa sa pamangkin ko to. And I know for a fact, even though there are a lot of pictures in this book, he will not be patient enough to read through it himself. So gusto kong ma-enjoy niya to with the animation and all. Ayan.
So you gave
Okay,
me an
Lucas.
idea, Achi, na dapat pala
Yes!
read it together.
Yes. Alam nyo ba, there was once when my two girls were still very little, wala pa yung kapatid nilang lalaki. There was once that I went abroad with my mom. I think we went to a convention in forgot if it's Malaysia or Singapore. So I left the kids with their dad. So nagbilin ako, sabi ko, kailangan basahan mo ha. You let them choose the book that they want to read and then you read to them. Pero kailangan may limit kasi minsan tapos ng isang libro, another one. I'm very strict when it comes to their bedtime, no? Sabi ko, ganon. Pag uwi ko, Mami, huwag ka na mag-abroad, please don't leave us. Now, sabi ko, bakit? Hindi ba kayo So one of the issues was yung pagbabasa ng daddy nila. Very monotonous. walang flavor, walang
Walang
So
action.
walang action. So parang nakita ko rin yung how much they appreciated it. No, when sometimes something is absent, that's when you appreciate it the most. Eh. Ayun. How
That's
about
nice.
you, TJ?
Uy, pero di ba that's nice? So the book not only gives us like lessons or wisdom for youth throughout the years, but then it also became like a bonding session, like in the
Yes.
case of Actually. So to
Yes.
you then, yan napasahan na, ikaw din naman, no,
Yes.
Amy, yan yung gagawin mo. And speaking of me, the next person I want to read this book would be Miguel. Si Miguel nga, he's all an adult, no, 19 na. Yung sinabi ni Amy
Nako,
kanina.
wala ka ng teenager.
Oo, di ba? Yung sinabi ni Amy kanina na nung bata tayo, ito lang yung iniisip, gusto nating tumanda. No, ngayon naman na adults na tayo, gusto nating bumata. Miguel is already at that age na, syempre, ito na, parang gusto niya na agad na, ito na yung age niya, ito na yung ginagawa niya. So I want him to just really enjoy every day. No, isang best ka lang magiging 19-year-old in your life. No, pagdating mo ng what? Pag ng 2021, you pay your own bills, you're living independently, it's going to be different. So I want him to read this book so that he's grounded, that, everything really comes full circle i-encourage ka pa rin niya to keep your childlike perspective, that don't get lost in all of it. So ayun na, before we close, final words from everybody. So if there is one, how would I say, one lesson you'd like to leave our audience on being an adult as it relates to this book, what would that be?
Amy, you want to go first?
Yun sa akin, the things that are important, you cannot measure, you cannot count, you know, I at least at this point, yun nga babalik pa din ako sa what is more important to me. And lagi akong ina-assure ni Achi that right now, Amy, this is on your plate. And I think the most important thing right now is family. So kahit sobrang busy ako, may lagi yung ulo ko. You know, di ba, minsan naminit, ay, so hard talaga. Yung papasok yung mga bata. But you know, I think I'm like that, na minsan namainit ang ulo, minsan nagagalit. I'm like that because I love, you know, 'di ba? And that I love and care, 'di ba? Yun lang naman yun eh. And when at the end of the day, we're still family, and I know my parents, naging gano'n naman din yung mom ko dahil sobrang makulit din kami ng mga bata. And at the end of the day, I'm like now, hindi na appreciate ko eh. It's the love. And the reason that you do things that you know they won't understand is because still you love and you care. So you're that's what it's you cannot see it, but you feel it. You feel it into your heart. Yeah.
Diba? Anything essential is invisible to the eyes nga.
Yes.
That's true. Achi?
Ako, you know, I guess, kasi marami no? But where I am today, and how my relationship is with my children, ang isang talaga nag-pop out sa akin is being a grown-up is a state of mind. It is not a fact of life. Not saying that I should, you know, be immature or anything, di ba? But I should learn to enjoy life. And, you know, yung dati-dati my kids would comment on me, Mom, you're crazy. Sabi ko, pasalamat kayo, I'm crazy. You're having a grand time with a crazy mom. Imagine if I'm not crazy, your lives would be boring. Di ba? So, ano at whatever stage in our life, whatever circumstances that we are surrounded with, again, it is a choice that we make if we want to enjoy that stage of our life or not. No, enjoying and doesn't mean na you party all the time, or it's enjoying can also be something that you can grasp from each situation in your life. Like for example, na-enjoy mo etong stage na to because marami kang natutunan na life lessons, 'di ba? Na-enjoy mo itong life na to because na-explore mo ang iba-ibang parte ng mundo. Ayan. So, iba-ibang klaseng enjoyment din yan. Again, not saying that you should be immature, but have fun. Life is short, di ba? Ayan.
That's true. And in the day-to-day grind and the hustle and bustle of everything, as adults, we truly have become a matter of consequences, primarily because what we do, our lives, it's not only going to affect us, but those that are around us. It creates a ripple effect. But to us adults, do not get lost in all of it. We can find joy in the simplest of things. Catch those moments. To you guys who gets overwhelmed with your day, or if people gets overwhelmed by you, don't feel bad. Sabi nga ni Amy, we're like that because we love. The most essential of things are invisible to the eye. If you are a WMC alumni and would like the conversation, please join us. You can contact one of us or directly from our page or Achi Janet Nang. And with that, regards to Kaloy, and then to Arlene.
We miss you, Kaloy.
Kaloy din. And with that, Achi Janet, Amy, this is TJ. We close our session. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. Take care. We'll see you again.
Bye.